Hey there, and welcome back to the deep dive. You know that feeling, right? That hazy, slow motion struggle of a day after a night of too little sleep. Or or that incredible, almost superpower-like clarity when you wake up truly refreshed. We've all been there, and it makes you wonder, why does sleep hold so much power over our brains? Today, we're diving deep into exactly that, how sleep, and yeah, the critical lack of it impacts your cognitive performance and focus. We've assembled a truly compelling stack of sources for this deep dive, ranging from comprehensive scientific literature reviews to brand new cutting edge research and even some fascinating insights from a major long term study on youth brain development. Our mission is to pull out those essential nuggets of knowledge, separate the science from, the common assumptions, and help you truly grasp what's happening inside your head when you hit the pillow. So, are you ready to explore the nocturnal world of your own brain?
Yeah, it's remarkable how often we view sleep as just like a passive state, almost like hitting a pause button. But what's truly fascinating is that it's anything but. Sleep is a highly organized, intensely active period, absolutely critical for both physiological restoration and, well, the peak performance of our cognitive abilities. This deep dive will really peel back the layers and show you why valuing your sleep means valuing your brain.
Okay, let's unpack what goes right when you get quality sleep. Because before we talk about the problems,
Exactly. Let's start with the benefits.
our sources make it abundantly clear that sleep isn't just about resting your body, it's actively supporting a whole host of cognitive superpowers. We're talking attention, laser focus, memory, sharp problem solving skills, creativity, emotional processing, and sound judgment. It's essentially a nightly full system tune up for your brain.
Precisely. Your brain doesn't just switch off. It cycles through distinct stages. Non-rapid eye movement, or NREM, and rapid eye movement, REM sleep, each with unique and vital roles. Think of NREM as your brain's meticulous librarian, sort of archiving and consolidating your daily experiences. It's during NREM, especially stage 2, which makes up the largest chunk of your sleep, maybe 45–55%, that your brain produces these unique brainwave patterns. They're called sleep spindles and K complexes.
Sleep spindles and K complexes. Sounds technical.
They are a bit, but think of it this way.
Eh.
Sleep spindles are like tiny, rapid bursts of activity that act like a bouncer at a club, filtering out disruptive noises to help you stay asleep.
Okay.
And K complexes are more like a brain's internal reset button, protecting you from disturbances and also helping cement new memories.
I see. So it's active protection.
Exactly. This intricate dance means your brain is actively protecting your sleep and reinforcing your learning simultaneously. Then you have stage 3, or slow wave sleep, SWS. That's your deep sleep, accounting for maybe 15–25% of the night. This is profoundly restorative, physically. Tissue repair, immune system strengthening, all that good stuff.
Right. The physical recovery part.
Yes, but here's the key cognitive link. SWS is critical for consolidating declarative memories.
Declarative memory.
Yeah, that's your facts and events, like what you learned in a meeting or a new person's name. And this isn't passive. It happens through what scientists call a hippocampal neocortical dialogue. Basically, your brain reactivates new memories, moving them from temporary storage, the hippocampus, to more permanent spots in the neocortex.
Wow. Like filing things away.
Exactly, and it's coordinated by slow oscillations and those sleep spindles we mentioned. Now, REM sleep, which usually kicks in about 90 minutes after you fall asleep and makes up, say, 20–25% of your total sleep, is something else entirely.
Okay, so different from NREM.
Very different. Your brain activity during REM looks almost identical to being awake on an EEG.
Really? Like you're awake.
Almost. But thankfully, your major voluntary muscles are temporarily paralyzed.
So you don't act out your dreams.
Precisely. Prevents you from acting out those incredibly vivid dreams. And REM sleep is crucial for procedural memory.
Procedural. So skills.
Skills and habits, exactly, like playing an instrument or riding a bike. But it's also a powerhouse for emotional processing. The theory is that REM helps kind of unbind the emotional charge from factual memories. So you retain the information, but maybe not the original overwhelming intensity.
That's fascinating. Takes the edge off.
In a way, yes.
Hmm.
And it also fosters creativity and insight. It forms new, often unusual associations between ideas.
So that's why people say sleep on it.
It's very likely connected. Your brain is literally doing some creative heavy lifting for you, connecting dots you might never see when you're awake.
So the brain isn't just dormant, it's incredibly busy. Specific, orchestrated tasks in different stages.
Absolutely. It's like a meticulously choreographed chemical ballet. You have neurotransmitters like norepinephrine, serotonin, acetylcholine, dopamine,
Hmm.
all playing their part, influencing whether you're awake in NREM or REM.
And getting that balance right is key for the next day.
It's absolutely critical for preparing your brain for optimal performance.
But just when you think you've got it all figured out, we found something in the sources that, well, it completely shifts our understanding of one major aspect of sleep.
Ah, yes. The cleaning crew theory.
Exactly. For years, a dominant theory in neuroscience, backed by earlier research, proposed that one of sleep's most vital functions was to act as the brain's cleaning crew, literally flushing out metabolic waste, junk proteins that build up during the day. This process was attributed to something called the glymphatic system.
Right, the glymphatic system.
Hmm.
Primarily thought to be most active during that deep NREM sleep, SWS. The idea was it used cerebrospinal fluid to clear out potentially neurotoxic byproducts, including things like amyloid beta and tau proteins.
Was linked to Alzheimer's.
Exactly. Hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease. One study even indicated that just one night of sleep deprivation could increase the amount of beta amyloid in the brain. So the prevailing idea was, poor sleep means impaired clearance, leading to a buildup, and therefore increased risk of cognitive decline.
It was a compelling image, wasn't it? Your brain washing dishes at night.
Very compelling. Using rhythmic waves propelled by neuron activity to remove waste. Makes intuitive sense.
A brand new study published in Nature Neuroscience from researchers at Imperial College London. It's thrown a fascinating wrench into that tidy explanation.
It certainly has.
They found that, well, at least in mice, the clearance and movement of fluid in the brain was actually reduced during sleep.
Reduced by about 30% during sleep, and even more, 50% under anesthesia compared to when the mice were kept awake.
Reduced, not increased.
Exactly. Which really prompts an important reevaluation. If the glymphatic system is less active during sleep, what does that imply for that whole brainwashing out toxins theory?
Yeah.
The lead researcher of this new study pointed out that while the earlier idea sounded like a Nobel Prize-winning idea, the evidence for waste removal ramping up during sleep was previously only indirect.
Ah, okay. So maybe not as solid as we thought.
Perhaps not. This new study now suggests that being awake, active, and even exercising might actually clean the brain of toxins more efficiently.
Wow. So being active cleans the brain better than sleeping. That's counterintuitive.
It is, isn't it?
So what does this surprising new finding mean for us? It fundamentally challenges a popular scientific explanation for why sleep is restorative.
It does. And it also impacts that perceived direct link between, say, a bad night's sleep and immediate toxin buildup related to dementia. One researcher even suggested this finding might alleviate some anxiety for people who worry constantly about getting dementia if they don't sleep perfectly every night.
Because it questions the idea that impaired toxin clearance during sleep is the sole culprit.
Precisely. But, and this is crucial, regardless of how the brain cleans itself or when, the profound, undeniable benefits of sleep on overall cognition remain absolutely clear. That hasn't changed.
Right. Okay. So contradictory findings about the cleaning mechanism aside, the evidence is overwhelming on the devastating impact of insufficient sleep on your mind. Let's start with the immediate stuff, the short-term hits you might feel tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. Poor sleep. Even just one single night of acute sleep deprivation has wide-ranging and immediate consequences. You'll absolutely experience excessive sleepiness, that heavy drowsiness, fatigue, potentially even leading to microsleeps.
Ugh, microsleeps. Those little nods off.
Exactly. Those brief, unintentional moments for a few seconds. I think we've all been there, right? That moment in a meeting or driving where your head just gives a little bob.
Yeah, a bit scary sometimes.
It's a stark reminder your brain isn't negotiating. Beyond that, your attention, your learning capacity, your processing speed, they all diminish. Studies have found that a lack of sleep can induce effects pretty similar to being legally drunk. Slows down your thinking, your reaction time.
Like being drunk. Wow.
Yeah, it even diminishes your placekeeping.
Placekeeping. What's that?
It's your ability to remember where you are in a multi-step task, like following a recipe or assembling furniture from instructions without getting lost or forgetting the next step. Sleep deprivation makes that much harder. You might also find yourself less adaptable, more prone to rigid thinking, and you experience something called feedback blunting.
Feedback blunting.
It means reduced capacity to learn from mistakes and improve on the fly. Your brain just doesn't integrate feedback as well. This extends to impaired judgment and a tendency towards risky choices. Poor sleep literally alters how your brain understands emotional information.
How so?
It makes it harder to process the emotional context that's crucial for making good decisions. People are more likely to focus on potential rewards and ignore the downsides. There are even historical examples, like the Space Shuttle Challenger accident, where poor judgment linked to early shift work and sleep loss was acknowledged as a factor.
That's serious.
Absolutely. In terms of memory formation, sleep deprivation before learning can slash your capacity to encode new information by as much as 40%.
40% just from being tired beforehand.
Yes. And if it happens after learning something new, it severely impairs the consolidation, the locking in of those newly acquired memories.
Okay, that comparison to being drunk is really sobering, no pun intended. But what happens when this isn't just an occasional bad night, but becomes a regular pattern? Chronic lack of sleep.
Right. That's where it gets even more concerning. Chronic sleep restriction, consistently getting less sleep than you need, night after night, imposes a cumulative burden. Your neurobehavioral deficits, things like attention lapses, slowed working memory, they build up progressively. After just a few days of restricting sleep, your performance can reach levels comparable to someone who's had total sleep deprivation for a night or two.
Even if you feel like you're managing, like you've adapted.
That's the dangerous part. You might feel like you've adapted, thinking, oh, I'm getting by on 5 hours. But objective measures show you're still significantly impaired. This gap, this dissociation between how alert you feel and how capable you actually are, is a serious safety risk. Not just for you, but potentially for others around you, depending on what you do.
And the impacts aren't just immediate, are they? They can be long-term, with potentially very serious health implications for your brain's future.
Yes, absolutely. That's becoming increasingly clear. Chronic poor sleep is now widely recognized as a significant risk factor for long-term cognitive decline and neurodegenerative diseases.
Like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's?
Exactly, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. And beyond any issues with waste clearance, which we now know are complex, chronic sleep loss triggers other harmful processes. It triggers neuroinflammation, basically, your brain becoming inflamed. It increases oxidative stress, which is like cellular rusting.
Okay.
Both of those impair synaptic plasticity. That's your brain's ability to form and strengthen connections, which is fundamental for learning and memory. And it can even lead to structural changes over time, like actual reductions in gray matter volume in critical cognitive regions of the brain.
Wow, actual shrinkage.
Reductions in volume, yes. And interestingly, sleep disturbances themselves can even serve as early biomarkers for these diseases, sometimes appearing years before someone gets a clinical diagnosis.
That's incredible. So sleep problems could be an early warning sign.
They could be, yes.
It's clear that sleep is crucial for adults, but what about the younger generation? It often feels like teens, especially, are chronically short on sleep.
That's a really important area. And it brings up the question, are younger, still developing brains affected differently? Research from the ABCD study, that's the Adolescent Brain Cognitive Development Study,
Yeah.
a huge long-term project in the U.S., reveals that kids and teens actually need more sleep than adults.
How much more?
Well, 9-12 hours for 6 to 12-year-olds and 8-10 hours for teenagers.
8 to 10 hours for teens. Wow. I don't know many teens getting that.
You're right, the reality is stark. The ABCD study found only about half of 9 and 10-year-olds get enough sleep. And for high school students, only a shocking 22% get the recommended 8 or more hours on school nights.
22%. That's terrible.
It is, and older teens are even less likely to get enough.
So what does that mean for them, for their development, their learning, their future?
Well, insufficient sleep in youth seems to have lasting impacts across the board, really. Not getting enough sleep at age 9 or 10, for example, can affect their behavior, their cognition, and their mental health for over 2 years later.
2 years from sleep issues earlier on.
Yes. It's linked to things like feeling sad or anxious, impulsivity, problems with memory, difficulty concentrating. Interestingly, the study also found that longer sleep duration was associated with fewer problem behaviors, like rule breaking or aggression.
So better sleep, potentially better behavior.
It seems linked, yes. And lots of factors influence their sleep quality. Recreational screen time is a big one, caffeine consumption, but also things like negative childhood experiences or even just perceived neighborhood threats. Feeling unsafe can impact sleep.
Right. Stressors.
Exactly. The developing brain is incredibly sensitive, and sometimes our societal structures, like very early school start times for high schools, can inadvertently undermine their cognitive development by cutting into necessary sleep time. It's not just about grades.
No, it sounds like it's about their fundamental brain health and well-being for years to come. What about the other end of the spectrum? As we get older, do things change?
They do. That's a crucial point. As we age, our sleep patterns naturally tend to change. Sleep often becomes lighter, more fragmented. We typically spend less time in that deep, slow-wave sleep, and also less time in REM sleep.
And these changes are linked to cognitive decline.
Yes, these age-related sleep changes are consistently linked to declines in cognitive domains, like processing speed, working memory, and long-term memory. The reduction in SWS, that deep sleep, is particularly concerning, given its role in memory consolidation and, well, potentially brain detoxification based on older theories. It's considered a key modifiable risk factor for age-related cognitive decline and dementia.
Modifiable meaning we can potentially do something about it.
Potentially, yes. Improving sleep quality in older age is a major focus of research.
Okay, so beyond just not getting enough sleep, there are actual sleep disorders, and these can have very specific and often severe cognitive impacts, right?
You're right to highlight that distinction. It's not just about quantity sometimes, but quality disrupted by a disorder. Two common examples are insomnia and sleep-disordered breathing.
Let's start with insomnia. Difficulty falling or staying asleep.
Exactly, that persistent difficulty falling asleep, staying asleep, or non-restorative sleep, leading to chronic daytime dysfunction. In older adults particularly, the evidence is quite strong that insomnia contributes to cognitive impairment.
In what ways?
It affects working memory, episodic memory, memory for events, problem-solving abilities, attention, and executive functions, like inhibitory control, that's your ability to manage your thoughts and actions, resist distractions. It's also now recognized as a risk factor for long-term cognitive decline and Alzheimer's disease. Some studies have even linked chronic insomnia to reductions in gray matter volume in certain brain areas.
Wow, so insomnia isn't just annoying, it could actually be harming the brain structure.
The evidence suggests it's a significant risk factor, yes. Then there's sleep-disordered breathing, or SBD. This includes obstructive sleep apnea, OSA, which is probably the most well-known type.
That's where you stop breathing repeatedly during sleep.
Correct. Your airway repeatedly blocks or collapses, leading to reduced oxygen getting to the brain and highly fragmented sleep because you keep having brief awakenings. OSA is considered an independent risk factor for cognitive impairment, particularly for what's called mild cognitive impairment, MCI. Maybe even more so than for general dementia risk. It's not a subtle effect either.
It's astounding just how much OSA can affect, isn't it? I mean, beyond just feeling tired.
It truly is.
Yeah.
The causative impacts are wide-ranging. OSA can impair global cognitive functioning, just overall thinking ability. It hits your vigilance, attention, reaction time. It impairs executive functions like planning and mental flexibility, your problem-solving skills. It affects various types of memory, verbal, nonverbal, episodic memory. Even language abilities can be impacted.
And it's linked to dementia and stroke, too.
Yes, it's an established risk factor for both dementia and stroke. The constant sleep fragmentation and the intermittent hypoxia, those repeated drops in oxygen levels from OSA, can specifically reduce the amount of REM sleep you get.
Ah, back to the sleep stages.
Exactly. And since REM supports declarative memory consolidation and emotional regulation, disrupting it via OSA has knock-on effects in those areas. So you see, the specific type of sleep disorder can lead to somewhat predictable cognitive consequences, depending on precisely which sleep stages or processes are being disrupted the most.
Okay, so after hearing all this, it's a bit daunting. What can you, the listener, actually do about it? It sounds like there's a lot more to good sleep than just, counting sheep. What factors truly influence our sleep quality and, by extension, our precious brain health?
That is the key question, isn't it? What's within our control? And the good news is, quite a lot. Many factors modulate sleep, starting with lifestyle choices.
Like diet and exercise?
Definitely. Your diet plays a major role. Heavy meals right before bed can disrupt sleep. Caffeine obviously blocks those sleep-promoting adenosine receptors, keeping you wired. And alcohol, well, it might initially make you feel sleepy, sedate you, but it dramatically fragments sleep later in the night, particularly REM sleep, often leads to waking up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I think many people have experienced that.
And exercise. Regular physical activity generally improves sleep quality and duration, but very vigorous exercise too close to bedtime can actually be stimulating for some people, making it harder to wind down.
Timing matters.
Timing matters. And stress management is absolutely critical. Chronic stress is a major sleep disruptor, often leading to insomnia. It creates a nasty negative feedback loop. Stress impairs sleep, and then poor sleep reduces your resilience to stress the next day.
Vicious cycle.
Totally. Practices like mindfulness meditation, yoga, deep breathing,
Yeah.
they can really help break that cycle. And of course, something we're all dealing with, screen time and light exposure.
Ah, the blue light problem.
Exactly. That blue light emitted from electronic devices suppresses melatonin production, your natural sleep hormone, delaying sleep onset. Conversely, getting bright light exposure, especially natural sunlight, in the morning helps set your internal clock, your circadian rhythm, for the whole day. It signals time to be awake and helps regulate time to wind down later.
So managing light is key. What about our actual surroundings? Does the bedroom environment really make that much difference, or is that just, a nice to have?
Oh, it makes a huge difference. Environmental influences are paramount.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it as sleep hygiene basics, but they're crucial. A dark, quiet, and cool bedroom is fundamental for quality sleep. The ideal temperature is usually somewhere between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 15 to 19 Celsius.
Cool, dark, and quiet. Got it.
Noise is a big one. Noise from traffic, neighbors, even a snoring partner. It can fragment sleep even if you don't fully wake up. Poor air quality can also impact sleep. And even broader neighborhood factors, things like living in a disadvantaged area or simply perceiving your neighborhood as unsafe, these can chronically undermine sleep quality at population level.
So it's not just individual choices, the environment plays a role too.
Absolutely. It really highlights the societal need for creating sleep-friendly environments, not just focusing on individual habits.
And finally, what about our general health and any medications we might be taking? Do those play a part?
A very significant part. Many medical conditions can directly interfere with sleep. Respiratory issues like asthma or COPD, chronic pain conditions, metabolic disorders like diabetes, neurological conditions like Parkinson's, the list is long.
Makes sense. If you're uncomfortable or unwell, sleep suffers.
Exactly. Furthermore, many common medications can significantly alter sleep quality and architecture. Sedative hypnotics, often prescribed for sleep, can ironically reduce the amount of deep NREM and REM sleep you get, affecting sleep quality, even if they help you fall asleep initially.
Huh. So they help you sleep, but maybe not the right kind of sleep.
That can be a trade-off, yes. Other common medications, too. Certain antidepressants, antihistamines, especially older ones, stimulants used for ADHD, even opioid analgesics for pain. They can all have varied, sometimes detrimental impacts on your sleep stages and overall quality.
So it's important to be aware of potential side effects.
Absolutely crucial. Be aware of these potential effects, discuss them with your doctor. Sometimes adjusting the timing of a dose can make a difference, or exploring alternatives might be necessary for your long-term sleep and cognitive well-being.
Right. This deep dive has truly shown us that sleep is anything but passive. It's dynamic, it's essential, it's incredibly complex, critical for almost every facet of our cognitive function, from consolidating memories and solving problems to uh, regulating emotions and sparking creativity. And while there's this fascinating new debate about how exactly the brain clears waste during sleep,
Right, the glymphatic story is evolving.
the overwhelming evidence is unequivocally clear. Consistently sacrificing sleep comes at a significant cognitive cost, both right now and way down the line.
Exactly. And knowledge, like this, is most valuable when it's understood and importantly can be applied. Recognizing the specific impacts of sleep deprivation across different cognitive domains, across our lifespans, and in the context of various sleep disorders really underscores just how critical adequate quality sleep is for overall brain vitality. It truly encourages, I think, critical thinking about how we prioritize rest in our often very busy daily lives.
So, what does this all mean for you listening right now? Perhaps it's not just about getting more hours of sleep, although that's often needed, but maybe it's also about understanding the quality of your sleep and the specific vital brain work it enables each night. The next time you find yourself feeling groggy, making a questionable decision, or just struggling to focus, maybe remember this deep dive into the brain's nocturnal world. And here's a final provocative thought for you to mull over. If maintaining healthy sleep patterns is increasingly seen as a profound potential form of prevention against conditions like dementia and Alzheimer's disease, what hidden cognitive potential, what extra sharpness or creativity or resilience might you be unlocking simply by giving your brain the consistent, high quality rest it truly needs?